Hi, I'm Livius Nedden,
I'm Rob Olson.
and together we make up the Booked Podcast. You probably already know that if you're finding this video, but let's take a minute and talk about why we're here. For the last 3.5 years, we've done Booked at basically zero cost, with the exception of buying the occasional book we had to read.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, well, all right, maybe I said some things about being a fan of Mel Gibson that may have caused this to happen. But at any rate, now we actually pay for our own hosting.
Yeah. The costs to actually create the podcast and make it available to everybody went from $0 to more than $0, which of course created a panic at Booked Studios, and we had to reach out for help, basically.
We immediately let go of our paid intern, and now we have to, Rob really has to do more of the work by himself.
Yeah.
So now we've partnered with Patreon to allow you, the listeners, to contribute to the podcast.
Yeah, and this isn't one of those shady Kickstarters where, like we're just trying to get money so that we could, none of that. This is actually so that we can help continue to provide the content that we give everybody without having to worry about money and stuff or honking cars.
Yeah. Eventually, if we make enough money, we'll have a room we can film these videos in and not have to do it in a vehicle.
That's right.
So what we're looking for is a little bit of help on your part. We don't need a whole lot to do the hosting for the website and the audio content that you get to listen to for free. I might remind you every single week. But it does take a little bit.
We sat down, we did one of those all-night sessions where we broke down a bunch of money and numbers and everything, and it was like the chalkboard, and we write numbers on the chalkboard, and then like there's an explosion, and we change some numbers, like that type of thing, and figured out that it's going to be about $30 a month, which is not a huge amount of money, but we figured if we could get some very, very generous listeners to kind of help soften the blow, that would be really cool.
So we're not saying that if we don't get $30 a month, we're going to stop doing the podcast, because we'll keep doing it. We'll just be bitter about it.
Bitter, much more bitter than otherwise.
But we did want to give you some reasons to contribute, and here are a few of them. A, we'll continue to bring you great content on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Weekly-ish
when we get around to it.
Yep.
For you listeners who aren't involved in the art of making books, you'll get to hear that, great book recommendations, some humor, occasionally intentional or not. But more importantly, for you writers, we will use any funds that we get in excess of the $30 a month to secure what we commonly refer to as the blackmail file.
That's right, because right now it's not very secure. Pretty much anybody who knows their way around some stuff can get into our blackmail file. Consider this like that's the blackmail file.
It's not very secure. Did you see how easily I was able to get to that?
Just plug it into a computer.
Yeah.
And all the information's out in the world.
Yeah. And again, it's not that we want to stop at $30. If we're able to get more than that, we do have some additional things we'd like to do for the podcast. For example, currently Rob is only upgrading his iPhone every 6 months or so, and we'd like to get that down to at least every 3 months for him, because it's an important part of the podcast.
This is going to be old very soon, so we want to increase that cycle a little bit. I'm fickle with my phones. Yep. I'm actually recording on a different phone, and I'm showing you my new phone.
Yeah. And then if there's money beyond that, because that is first and foremost after paying for the hosting, I've agreed to take some sensitivity training classes.
Right. So possibly your favorite part of the podcast in general is how bitter and angry Livius is at the world. Mm-hmm. That might go away if you give us enough money.
Yeah, I could be shiny, happy Livius, and who knows, you might like him more.
Yeah, and realistically, like this platform that we're looking to get contributions through, eventually could offer bonuses for contributors as well, like exclusive content that's only available to people who contribute to the podcast. We're starting it simple right now. Really, all we're looking for is a little bit of, help kicking in for our monthly costs, but who knows what we could do after that. If someone has some great ideas and suggestions, we could start working on some exclusive content as well.
So donate as little as $1 a month, or I don't even know if there's a cap, as much as you'd like, but $1 a month I would personally recommend as a great starting point.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of money, and if we have, couple dozen people do that, our costs are covered, and anything beyond that just funds whatever we do beyond that, like the live events that we, traveling to live events and things like that.
More hats
for me. Really, it's all of my material needs, and then fun stuff after that.
So click, I think, over to the left if you're looking at your screen. That way, yeah, over
It's
that
one of
way.
these ways, or
Yeah,
down maybe.
or down, depending on
Yeah.
how this flips it. Go ahead and select the 5, 10, 20, $50 a month link and fill
Yeah.
out your information.
And just understand that you're contributing to a podcast that it's a long-standing podcast. We've done a lot of episodes. We've had a lot of great guests, and we've done a lot of really cool stuff. And
We
we
had
just
some
want to,
shitty guests too. Don't forget the shitty
yeah,
guests.
we
We had
had
some
some.
shitty guests.
I didn't want to bring
Yeah,
that up, but
whatever. Let's be honest about it.
we just want to keep bringing that to you, and we want you to pay for it.
That's right. All right. That's it. You got anything else?
That's it. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always,
Keep contributing.